So yeah, now in this two-step process, like Arun said, do you have to validate data? Yeah, you have to validate data. So what happens if somebody puts some malicious information to this? Say, so for instance, take your bank withdrawal form itself. What if you submit a wrong information and the teller gives you money? So there should be something to validate the data. So yeah, there is two types of validation. One is the client side validation, which is done using JavaScript. So to validate, we need to have some logic. So as I told you in the starting classes, that JavaScript is the client side logic. We write whatever the client side logic we have, we write it using JavaScript. And then there is server side validation, which is done using PHP. So yeah, this is about the basics of form, like how do we use forms, what happens, like this is what. If you got any questions, I'll just go ahead and answer. Questions? No? Great. Let me just put this on top. Fine. So now let's discuss about the structure of the form. How does a form actually look like? So I just type in here form. So now, as I said, HTML tags are self-explainable. So form tag will start with form. So this is how a form tag. Or let me just go ahead and type this in Notepad, so that makes our both of us lives easy. Yeah, I'm sharing the screen here. Let me do that. Yeah, can you see my screen here? Sandeep and Arun. Let me pull this out. Great. So let's go ahead and start writing a program. So I just go to Notepad, and the first statement I write is doc type HTML, which says this document type uses HTML5 type syntax, or I don't know exactly what it's called, maybe markup, HTML5 type markup. So then the next tag is HTML. Inside HTML indentation, I give indentation as I told you, because to make something easily readable. So inside the head, we discussed about the title tag, which displays a title on top of the browser, and this is important in two cases. Like people who come to the website will be reading the title and knowing, and the other purpose is Google. Tutoslive, HTML forms class. So inside the body, I put say h3, let's say h3 HTML form. Now let's see, I save it here. Then on the desktop we have a folder, Tutoslive, and this is forms.html, and go to desktop. Tutoslive, and I just what is this? I take these forms, go here, you can drop also. You can see here HTML form. So yeah, let's go ahead. So form is again self-explanatory. Like I said, form starts with form and ends with the form. Now, what are the attributes? These are very important. I mean, you gotta check it on the attributes, like what attributes does a form has. So form has three attributes. So no, not three, I mean three essential attributes. Like there can be many attributes, as I said. Like there are some general attributes which we'll be discussing when we go to CSS and JavaScript. But as of now, yeah, there are three main important attributes for a form. The first one is called method. The second one is called action. The third one is called ENC type. I'm sorry. So method, action, and type. These are the three attributes for the forms. So what is method? Method is nothing but, see, as I said, what does a form do? Like form will send the data to the server, and then the server will take care of the data and process the data and will decide what to do with the data. So there must be some method to transfer this data. So that is a method here. Like for instance, there are two methods for HTML form. The first one is, I'll type it here, it's get, and the second one is post. So we'll be discussing more about get and post very soon, like in a practical example. But as of now, think like this, like get what do you call? If you use get method, the data will be seen in the browser. Whereas if you use the post method, the data will not be seen in the browser. We'll see how the examples, like what exactly the difference between get and post. And then action. Action is a path to which the page or the data must be sent to process or whatever. It's the next page where the data must be sent to, or it can be the same page, like where should this data to be sent. That's what the action tells. Like action is usually a path. It can be a relative path, an absolute path, an internal path, or an external website, whatever it can be. So action will tell the browser like, hey, this guy will be submitting data in the form. So just as soon as he submits, okay, then take him to this particular location wherein the next bit of code will be there. So that's what action does. And coming to the ENC type, ENC type is encryption type. Like for instance, say sometimes you see your profile photo, your profile picture, or say suppose your Google attachments, Gmail attachments, or say if you're uploading a resume, these are all like forms, not forms, documents. So image is a file which has extension like JPG, PNG, whereas Microsoft Word has extension like doc, PDF file has PDF. So these are all files. So what if I want to send files across the internet? Like we do that every time. If you change your profile picture on Facebook, what you're sending a picture from your system, local system, across to the Facebook server. So you can even send files to the forms. So that's where the ENC type comes. So ENC type is used when you have your like file attachments to be sent to the server. So usually this will be, I'll give the direct value here. Get and post are the values for the method, and action is the path where the data must be sent in. It's just like our src in image and href in link tags. And ENC type is multi-part or form data. So this essentially says like, hey, there is an attachment in the form. Just take care of this. If I do not give ENC type equal to multi-part or form data, I cannot send my images or attachments or files across the internet. So this is way. So the combination, I'll say, let's go ahead and see a practical example that makes things pretty clear for us. When to use get, when to use post, when to use ENC type, when to what kind of action need to be used. So we'll just see. So if you got any questions here, I can answer them. So I'll be going to the screen sharing thing so that I can be seeing your questions. Sure, okay, I'll just go ahead. Okay, fine. So yeah, as I told, now let's take and I forgot to say the default method is get. Like if I don't use any method, it assumes like hey, this guy is using get method, so send the data using get method. So if I don't give a let me put a star or tick mark here so that this is the default. Oops, I don't know. I never use this. Oops. Let me just put a tick mark. That is fine. So this is the default. So now let's say I don't give anything here. So let me just give an action. Action be something else. I won't give any action, and I won't give enc type to our. Let's just write a plain form. But let me just put on the attributes here, just blank. So usually a form will be having a name, form will be having an ID, form will be having a class too. So this name, ID, class are the default attributes. Like they are used for identification. They are used if you want to apply some styles. They are used if I want to make some JavaScript logic to be applied on those particular tags. So that's why these things are used. But in forms, name is essential. I'll say why the name is essential when we are processing the forms. Okay. Right, now coming to the what does a form tag has, let's go ahead and discuss that. Like just like the ul tag, even form tag has children. Let's see what kind of things we can see in forms. Generally, as I told you, forms are used to take the input from the user. So the tag which is used is input. Again, input has attributes called type, name is very essential here. It's very important. Name and a value and a placeholder. This is HTML5 tag placeholder. That's the reason it's not showing up in any color. You see here, it's plain black. So again, input is a self-closing tag, like it doesn't have any element to act upon, right? So let us discuss about the types. Okay, so let me open a new document here. I'll write it here so that we don't get writing over there. So what are the types of inputs you see generally? So you see a text box, you see password, you see radio buttons, you see check boxes, you see buttons. You got us. Then what else we see? We see submit and a reset. Text, password, radio, checkbox, button, submit and reset. So these are all the input types. Here let me write input tag types. Got any question here? Yeah. Images. Just say go ahead. Arun said list of values. Of values, smileys. What's that? Yeah, I'll tell about the value. I'll just tell about the value. Yeah, input types are not smileys. Input types, like say for instance, we'll see that. Let me just type and see. Okay, great. So now these are the different types of inputs. Now let's use everything. So I say input type equal to text, and let's give a name here. Let me say this is name. And here for the value, let me not give any value, but here I'll give a placeholder saying enter a name. I just copy this because everything is an input tag. So I say enter a password, and let me give this as password, the name, and the type is password. Now you can see here, I mean the text, password, every tag and its attribute, what are the values are in lower cases. I'm giving in lower cases, but whereas names I'm giving as capitals. Okay, just observe that. I mean you can give anything, but I'm just giving them because I have to understand them. So I follow some protocols, like this is how we have to code, so that it's like it makes our life easier if you follow some standards. So that's the reason I give names as capitals, classes as small letters again. So we'll be seeing, I'll be telling those conventions whatever I use. It's not necessary that you have to follow them. If you follow them, yeah, it's better for you guys. Okay, now here what else we got here? Input types. Input type radio and checkbox. Yeah, let me say input type radio. Let's say the name be, I'll give the radio only, and there will be no placeholder for this radio, and there will be value. Let me say value, what value we give? Let me give radio. So don't worry about these values now, because values come when we process it. Okay, I'll be telling about that when we process, but I'll give you a brief about what exactly a value is. So input type equal to checkbox, name equal to checkbox. Oops. Check, I say, I won't say anything, check, and value equal to check again, check. Then I say input type equal to button, name equal to button, value equal to, again this here the value is important. I'll say why value is important. So I say button, let me give the value as button, and then input type equal to submit, name equal to submit, and let me give a value to this too, submit. And then the last one, input type equal to reset, name equal to reset, value equal to reset. Okay, let me just close it and let's see what happens on the browser. So here, let's see. Now you see here, what did you understand by looking at them? Like, these guys are inline tags. They're not block level tags. They're not occupying the space, the whole width. They are placed side by side. Now you see here, this is a text, this is password, and this is radio, this is check, this is a button, this is submit, and this is reset. So this is how, wherever you see, wherever you go, I mean, on a website, you'll find these things often, like radio buttons, check boxes. You can click them. Actually, you can see some transitions going over the, see, checkbox. If I click and unclick, it goes off, it goes on, and radio button is clicked. Once clicked is clicked, and then buttons, submit and reset. So this is how the input tags are used to display the form elements on the browser. So now let's just go ahead and type something in there. Again, I can type something in there, like say my name is Sagar. Now coming to here, password. But why does the password used? Like, let's say I say Tutoslive. Now see, I cannot see the password. If I use password type, I cannot see the password. It's all dots here. So that's the reason password tag is used. And radio button is used like for a choice of, if I had to choose one among two, I use radio button. Now let's go and see how the radio button works. Now let me go ahead and give here input. Always remember, if I use radio button as a collection, I gotta give the same name. Let's see what happens if I give a different name. Now here, let me give a meaningful name instead of radio. Check me. Check me. Or not check, select essay. Oops. So I go here, I refresh. Let me just use a BR tag for everything so that it looks pretty good. BR. Let me use for radio the same in the same line. BR here, BR here, and let the submit and reset be on the same line, or all these three buttons be in the same line. So I go here and I refresh. Okay, can you see it? And checkbox should have one more BR here. Let me go refresh. You can see here. Yeah. So now see, for this radio button, if I click this and come back and this guy says select me too. So if I try to select him too, it doesn't allow, because it allows only one. Like if I have to choose only one among many, I use a radio button. So radio button has this feature that it lets me select only one of the same names. Now for instance, if I gave radio 1 here instead of just radio, I go here, refresh, and I'll say select me, I selected, and select me, I selected. You can see here both of them are selected now. So if I have to choose one among many items in terms of a radio button, they call us radio buttons. I still don't know why they call as radio buttons when they're not actually buttons. But I assume they are clickable, hence they are called as radio buttons. So yeah, coming to this context, if I have to select one among many, then I have to give the same name to all those radio buttons to select only one among many. If I give different names, then I can select all of them. So the purpose is lost over there. The purpose of a radio button is to select only one among a group of things. You got it? You got any questions here? So that's why the name is very important for this form elements. You got any questions here? Yeah, Arun? Yeah, go ahead. Shoot your questions.